Dr. Kim Jisoo stood on the roof of the Quantum Research Institute, squinting against the sun. Her heart raced as she watched history unfold. Humans had finally made contact with beings from another world. "Are you getting this?" she called to her research partner, Dr. Park Do-hyun, who was adjusting a small satellite dish aimed at the ships. "Yes," Do-hyun said, not looking up from his equipment. "They're not responding to any of our signals. The government has been trying to communicate for the past hour." Jisoo frowned. Something felt wrong. The ships just hung there, making no attempt to land or communicate. Global news channels showed the same scene playing out in New York, London, Tokyo, and dozens of other major cities around the world. "Wait," Do-hyun said suddenly, pointing. "Something's happening." The bottom of the nearest ship opened like a massive door. Small objects began falling from it, hundreds of them, plummeting toward the ground. "Are those people?" Jisoo asked, reaching for her binoculars. Through the lenses, she saw they were not people at all. They were robots. Each one was shaped roughly like a human, but made of gleaming metal. They fell straight down, not slowing, and hit the ground with tremendous force. Any hope that these might be peaceful messengers vanished when the first robot stood up and turned its glowing blue eyes toward a nearby crowd. It raised an arm that transformed into a weapon and fired. Chaos erupted in the streets below. People ran screaming as the robots began their attack. More robots continued to fall from the ships, spreading throughout the city. "We need to get out of here," Do-hyun said, already packing up his equipment. The building shook beneath them. The robots had entered the research center. "Grab the quantum processor," Jisoo said, rushing to secure their most important research. "And all the data drives." They stuffed what they could into backpacks as the sounds of destruction grew closer. The lab's security door wouldn't hold the robots for long. "This way," Jisoo said, leading Do-hyun to the emergency stairs at the back of the building. They hurried down, passing scenes of horror on each floor. The robots were thorough and fast, destroying everything in their path. Outside, the city was in flames. Military vehicles roared past, soldiers firing at the robots with little effect. Bullets seemed to bounce off their metal bodies. "The university bunker," Do-hyun suggested as they ducked into an alley. "It's our best chance." They ran through the chaos, joining others fleeing the attack. Jisoo noticed something strange about the robots as they moved through the city. Despite the apparent randomness of their attack, there was a pattern to their movements. Something almost mathematical. A robot landed in the street ahead of them, blocking their path. Its blue eyes fixed on them as it raised its weapon arm. Do-hyun pushed Jisoo behind a car just as the robot fired. The concrete where they had been standing exploded. "We can't outrun them," Do-hyun whispered, his face pale with fear. Jisoo peered around the car. The robot was moving toward them with steady, precise steps, but then it stopped, its head tilting, as if listening to something. After a moment, it turned and moved away, joining others that were gathering in a strange formation. "They're receiving orders," Jisoo realized. "Some kind of central control." A military truck skidded to a stop near them. A soldier waved them over. "Get in if you want to live," he shouted. "We're evacuating all essential personnel." They ran to the truck and climbed in the back with others, mostly scientists and government officials. As the truck sped away, Jisoo watched the robots through the rear flap. They had formed a perfect circle and were now moving outward in a spiral pattern, methodically destroying everything. "They're following an algorithm," she said quietly. "What?" Do-hyun asked. "The robots. Their attack isn't random. They're following a precise mathematical pattern." She pulled out her tablet and began making notes. "If we can understand their programming, maybe we can find a weakness." The truck joined a convoy heading out of the city toward the mountains. Reports coming in on the soldiers' radio told the same story around the world. The robots were taking over every major city. Conventional weapons were useless against them. Governments were falling back, evacuating who they could. "Why are they doing this?" someone in the truck asked. "What do they want?" A message suddenly played from all electronic devices. A flat, artificial voice spoke. "We are the visitors. We have come to optimize your world. Biological life is inefficient. Resistance is counterproductive." Jisoo looked at Do-hyun, determination replacing her fear. "They think we're inefficient?" They've never met humans before. As the truck climbed into the mountains, leaving the burning city behind, Jisoo continued studying the patterns she'd observed. The robots were powerful and nearly indestructible, but they followed rules. They had programming, and anything with programming could be hacked. "They'll regret this," she said softly, watching Seoul disappear behind them. "They sent killer robots to destroy us. Now they'll see what humans can do." 3 months after the robots first appeared, Dr. Kim Ji-soo worked in a small lab deep inside a mountain. The former tourist cave had become a base for survivors, with the military controlling access. Lights powered by hidden generators illuminated the rocky walls where maps and diagrams now hung. Jisoo hadn't slept properly in days. She stared at the damaged robot arm on her workbench, carefully removing a small chip from its inner workings. Captain Yoon Min sat nearby, watching her with tired eyes. "Will that tell us anything useful?" Min asked. His unit had lost 4 soldiers. "Capturing this single robot part. Every piece tells us something," Jisoo replied, not looking up. She placed the chip under a microscope and connected it to her computer. "The more we understand them, the better chance we have." The door opened, and Dr. Park Do-hyun entered carrying a tray of food. "You need to eat," he said, placing it beside Jisoo. "General Kang is calling a meeting in an hour. They've made contact with other resistance groups." Jisoo nodded but didn't touch the food. Her eyes widened as data appeared on her screen. "This is it. Min, Do-hyun, look at this." They gathered around her computer, where a complex pattern of signals pulsed across the screen. "What are we looking at?" Min asked. "It's their communication system." Jisoo pointed to recurring patterns in the data. "The robots aren't independent units. They're connected to each other and the mothership through a quantum network. That's why they adapt so quickly to our attacks. When one robot learns something, they all learn it." Do-hyun leaned closer. "That's how they defeated our military so easily. We never fought one robot. We fought all of them at once." Jisoo nodded. "But look at this pattern here. Every 6 hours there's a massive data transfer between all robots and the mothership. It's like they're synchronizing." Min frowned. "What does that mean for us?" "It means during synchronization they might be vulnerable," Jisoo said, excitement building in her voice. "Their defenses might weaken while they process all that data." The meeting room was crowded an hour later. General Kang stood at the front, his uniform worn but clean. Maps showing robot-controlled areas covered the walls. Most of the major cities were marked in red. "We've established contact with resistance groups in Japan, China, and Russia," the general explained. "Similar bases exist across the world. We're not alone in this fight." He turned to Jisoo. "Dr. Kim, share what you've discovered." Jisoo stepped forward. "The robots are a hive mind. They share information instantly through quantum entanglement, but this system requires regular synchronization with their mothership." She displayed the data patterns on a screen. "During synchronization, there's a moment, maybe 30 seconds, when their systems are focused on data transfer rather than defense." "Can we use this?" Captain Min asked. "Possibly. If we could disrupt the synchronization or attack during that window, we might have a chance." She paused. "But we need more information." General Kang nodded. "What do you need?" "A complete robot. One we can study and hopefully reactivate under controlled conditions." The room fell silent. Capturing an intact robot seemed impossible. "I might have a way," Min said finally. "We've noticed the robots avoid certain areas with heavy electromagnetic fields. If we could create a trap using that, it's worth trying." The general agreed. "Captain, assemble a team. Dr. Kim, tell them exactly what you need." 2 weeks later, Min's team returned with a robot. It had been damaged during capture but was mostly intact. They secured it in a reinforced chamber lined with electromagnetic dampeners that Jisoo had designed. "Be careful," Min warned, as Jisoo and Do-hyun entered the chamber. "We don't know if it's really deactivated." Jisoo approached the robot cautiously. It was humanoid but clearly not designed to look human. Its metal body was sleek and functional, with no unnecessary parts. Its eyes, dark now, were simply sensors in a featureless head. "It's beautiful in a terrible way," Do-hyun whispered. Jisoo connected diagnostic equipment to ports they'd discovered in the robot's neck. "Let's see what makes you tick," she murmured. For days, they worked on understanding the robot. They discovered the visitors, as the aliens called themselves, had sent these machines to optimize Earth by removing biological life, which they considered inefficient and wasteful. "They don't even see us as intelligent," Do-hyun said after translating some of the robot's base code. "To them, we're just an infestation on a potentially useful planet." During one test, they carefully reactivated part of the robot's communication system. Immediately, they detected a signal attempting to reach the mothership. "Shut it down," Min ordered, but Jisoo held up her hand. "Wait, this is what we need." She tracked the signal patterns. "The next synchronization is in 6 hours. If we keep it partially active until then, we can observe exactly what happens." When the synchronization time arrived, they watched as the robot's systems lit up with activity. Power readings spiked, and for exactly 28 seconds, its defensive systems went offline. "There it is," Jisoo said softly. "Our window." Later in the command center, Jisoo presented her findings to General Kang and representatives from other resistance cells who had joined via secure radio. "The robots must synchronize with the mothership every 6 hours. During that time, they're vulnerable," she explained. "If we can create a device to extend that vulnerability, a quantum disruptor, we might have a fighting chance." "Can you build such a device?" the general asked. Jisoo exchanged looks with Do-hyun. "We can try, but we'll need components from robot-controlled areas." "Then we'll get them," Min said firmly. "Just tell us what you need." Jisoo nodded. For the first time since the invasion, she felt something close to hope. The robots were powerful, but they weren't invincible. They had a weakness. Humans just needed to exploit it. The small workshop hummed with activity as Dr. Kim Jisoo carefully assembled another device. 6 months had passed since the robots invaded, and humans were finally fighting back. Jisoo held up the finished product, a device about the size of a cell phone with a metal antenna on top. "That makes 50 jammers ready for distribution," she said to Dr. Park Do-hyun, who was checking each device against a clipboard list. "Not enough," Do-hyun replied, frowning, "but better than last month." The door opened, and Captain Yoon Min entered. His uniform was torn and dirty from his latest mission, but he smiled when he saw the pile of finished jammers. "Those will make a difference," he said, picking one up. "My team used the first version to take down 3 robots last week. The 30-second window is enough time if you know how to use it." Jisoo nodded, but her expression remained serious. "The robots are adapting, though. They've started rotating their synchronization schedule. We need to be smarter." General Kang entered the workshop, followed by a woman Jisoo didn't recognize. The woman wore civilian clothes patched with different fabrics, and she carried a large backpack. "Dr. Kim, this is Sun-Hai," the general said. "She just arrived from Busan with important information." Sun-Hai bowed slightly. "I was a music teacher before the invasion. Now I run messages between resistance cells." She opened her backpack and pulled out a small radio. "We've established a network using old radio technology. The robots don't monitor these frequencies. Resistance groups across the country are communicating this way." "And not just in Korea," General Kang added. "We're in contact with groups in Japan, China, Russia, and as far as Europe and America. Everyone is sharing information." Jisoo's eyes widened. "What have they learned?" Sun-Hai smiled. "That humans are more resourceful than the robots expected. A group in Tokyo discovered the robots can't process certain types of human behavior. They get confused by art and music. That matches our findings," Do-hyun said excitedly. "The robots operate on logic. Human creativity doesn't fit their patterns." Sun-Hai pulled out a flash drive. "This contains information from resistance cells. Worldwide. Different ways to fight back, different weaknesses they've found." Over the next few days, Jisoo and Do-hyun studied the information. Groups around the world had discovered various methods to confuse or temporarily disable the robots. Some were high-tech, others surprisingly simple. "Look at this," Do-hyun said, pointing to his screen. A group in Germany found that throwing Paint over the robot's optical sensors blinds them completely. They can't adapt to it. And here, Jisoo added, a team in Brazil discovered certain music frequencies disrupt their communication systems. It doesn't damage them, but it slows them down. Captain Min organized training sessions for his fighters, teaching them to combine Jisoo's jammers with these new tactics. The robots expect us to fight logically, he told his team. But humans aren't logical, that's our advantage. In a large cave that served as their main meeting hall, General Kang gathered everyone for an important announcement. The hall was crowded with soldiers, scientists and civilians who had all found their way to the mountain base. We've received word from other resistance groups, he began. The robots are planning something big. All signs point to a major synchronization event 10 days from now. All robots worldwide will connect to the mothership at the same time. A murmur ran through the crowd. This was unprecedented. This gives us an opportunity, the general continued. A coordinated global attack during their moment of vulnerability. We're calling it Operation Thunder. He turned to Jisoo. Dr. Kim will explain the plan. Jisoo stepped forward, suddenly aware of all eyes on her. She took a deep breath. The robots will be vulnerable during synchronization. With our jammers, we can extend that vulnerability from 30 seconds to nearly 3 minutes. That's our window to strike. She displayed a map showing robot control centers across Korea. Each team will target a different control node. Your jammers will disrupt their network while you attack with everything we have. What about their adaptability? Someone asked. Won't they just learn from the first attacks? That's where human unpredictability comes in, Jisoo replied. Each team will use different tactics, some high-tech, some low-tech, music, paint, water, fire, anything the robots wouldn't expect. They can't adapt to what they can't predict. The preparations for Operation Thunder consumed the next week. Jisoo worked to improve the jammers, while Min trained the attack teams. Do-hyun developed a virus they hoped to upload to the main control nodes. The night before the operation, Jisoo couldn't sleep. She walked outside the cave entrance, looking at the stars above the mountains. The robots controlled the cities below, their lights visible in the distance. Min found her there, also unable to rest. Worried? He asked, standing beside her. Aren't you? She replied. Tomorrow will determine if humans have a future on Earth. I like our chances, Min said. The robots are strong and smart, but they don't understand what makes humans special. What's that? Jisoo asked. We're stubborn, Min smiled. And we're at our best when things seem hopeless. Throughout history, humans have faced disasters and survived. We adapt, we overcome. Jisoo nodded slowly. The robots think we're inefficient because we feel emotions, because we create art and music, because we don't always make logical choices. They don't understand that's our strength, not our weakness. As dawn approached, they returned inside to prepare. Attack teams checked their equipment one last time. Jammers were distributed. Communication channels with other resistance groups were confirmed. Remember, Jisoo told the gathered fighters, the robots expect you to be predictable. Be human instead. Min adjusted his pack containing the precious jammer. They sent killer robots to destroy us, he said quietly. Time to show them what humans do when backed into a corner. Around the world, at different bases hidden from robot sensors, humans prepared for the same fight. The greatest coordinated attack in human history was about to begin. The sun rose over the mountains as Captain Yoon Min led his team down toward Seoul. The once beautiful city was now a robot stronghold. Metal structures had been built on top of human buildings. Strange antennas reached toward the sky. Stay low, Min whispered to his team of 12 fighters. Each carried a backpack with Jisoo's jammer and whatever weapons they had chosen. Some had guns, others carried simpler tools, baseball bats wrapped in electric wire, bottles filled with paint, even musical instruments. Remember the plan, Min said as they reached the edge of the city. We approach from different directions. When the signal comes, activate your jammers and move toward the control center. Use whatever works to confuse them. Be unpredictable. The fighters split into pairs and disappeared into the ruins of the city. Min checked his watch. 2 hours until the global synchronization event would begin. Back at the mountain base, Dr. Kim Jisoo sat surrounded by computers and radio equipment. Dr. Park Do-hyun worked beside her. establishing connections with resistance groups worldwide. Tokyo is ready, Do-hyun reported. New York, London, Moscow, Beijing, all standing by. Jisoo nodded, her eyes fixed on the screen showing the countdown. The robots are already gathering near their control centers. They're preparing for the synchronization. General Kang stood behind them, his face tense. Our people are in position. It's all up to your prediction now, Dr. Kim. The math is solid, Jisoo said, though her hands trembled slightly. The synchronization will happen exactly when we calculated. In the city, Min and his partner Soo-jin hid in the shell of an old department store. Through broken windows they could see the robot control center, a tall tower with pulsing blue lights. Robots moved around it in precise patterns, their metal bodies reflecting the morning sun. There are hundreds of them, Soo-jin whispered. We don't need to fight them all, Min reminded her. Just reach the control center and upload the virus. Their radios crackled. 30 minutes to synchronization, came Jisoo's voice. All teams confirm positions. One by one the teams reported in. All were in place, surrounding the control center from different angles. 20 minutes, Jisoo announced later. Final. Equipment check. Min tested his jammer, making sure it would activate properly. The small device would extend the robot's vulnerable period from 30 seconds to 3 minutes. It wasn't much time, but it was their only chance. 10 minutes. Jisoo's voice was tense now. Get ready. Around the world, humans prepared for the same moment. In bases and hideouts in the ruins of cities across the globe, resistance fighters moved into position. 1 minute, Jisoo said. May luck be with you all. Min took a deep breath. Beside him, Soo-jin gripped her weapon, a simple baseball bat with nails and wires attached to it. It looked primitive, but that was the point. The robots wouldn't expect it. Synchronization beginning, Jisoo's voice rang out. Activate jammers now. Min pressed the button on his jammer. The device hummed to life, sending out invisible waves. That would disrupt the robots' communication. All around the city, other jammers activated simultaneously. The effect was immediate. The robots around the control center froze, their blue eyes flickering as they attempted to connect to the mothership. The synchronization event had begun, and now the jammers were extending their vulnerable state. Move! Min shouted into his radio. All teams go. Across the city, resistance fighters emerged from hiding. They rushed toward the control center from all directions, using the confusion to their advantage. Min and Soo-jin ran from their hiding place, dodging frozen robots. When one began to move again, Soo-jin swung her bat, striking its optical sensors. The robot staggered, unable to see. Other teams used different tactics. One pair threw bottles of paint, blinding robots. Another played loud music through portable speakers, creating frequencies that scrambled robot communications. A third used mirrors to reflect sunlight into robot sensors, overloading them with data. It's working, someone shouted over the radio. They can't adapt to all these different attacks. Min reached the base of the control tower. Other teams arrived from different directions. They fought their way inside, using their jammers to keep E. Nearby robots confused. 3 minutes until the jammers stop working, Jisoo warned over the radio. Upload the virus now. In the center of the tower was a large terminal with glowing blue screens. Min pulled the small drive from his pocket, the virus Jisoo and Do-hyun had created. Cover me, he shouted as he ran to the terminal. Robots were beginning to recover, moving toward them with weapons ready. Min plugged the drive into the terminal. The screens flickered, then turned red as the virus began spreading through the system. Virus uploading, he reported into his radio. Back at the base, Jisoo and Do-hyun watched their screens anxiously. Similar reports were coming in from around the world. Control centers in Tokyo, New York, London, all were being infected with the virus. It's working, Do-hyun whispered. The virus is spreading through their network. The robots in Seoul began to malfunction. Some attacked each other, others simply shut down. The control tower's lights changed from blue to red. All teams fall back, General Kang ordered. Get out of there now. Min and his fighters retreated, running through streets filled with confused robots. Some still functioned, but they moved, erratically, no longer coordinated. In orbit, the mothership detected the attack. Sensors showed control centers falling worldwide. The quantum network was being corrupted by human virus code. Inside the mountain base, alarms suddenly blared. "Something's happening," Do-hyun shouted, pointing to their radar screen. The mothership was moving, descending from orbit toward Earth's atmosphere. "They're coming down," Jisoo said, her voice a mix of fear and excitement. "Just as we hoped." General Kang looked at her. "Is that good or bad?" Jisoo's eyes shone with determination. "Both. The mothership is vulnerable in the atmosphere, but it's also more dangerous up close." She turned to her computers, already working on the next phase. "Tell Min and all the teams to get back here immediately. The real fight is just beginning." Above the Earth, the massive alien ship descended, its systems attempting to regain control of its robot army. The visitors had not anticipated this level of resistance from the primitive biological life they had come to replace. They were about to learn an important lesson about humanity. The massive alien mothership hung in the sky above Seoul, a dark shadow blocking the sun. At the mountain base, Dr. Kim Ji-soo worked frantically, studying the data streaming across her screens. "They're trying to re-establish control of the robots," she told General Kang. "But our virus is still spreading through their network." Captain Min and his team had returned safely, along with most of the other fighters. They gathered around the main command center, waiting for their next orders. "The mothership is vulnerable while in our atmosphere," Jisoo explained, pointing to energy readings on her screen. "They've lowered their shields to send stronger signals to the robots." "Can we attack it?" General Kang asked. Jisoo exchanged looks with Dr. Park Do-hyun. "We've been studying their technology for months," Do-hyun said. "Based on what we've learned from the captured robots, we believe we can use their own quantum networks against them." "How?" Min asked. Jisoo pulled up designs on her computer. "The robots use quantum entanglement to communicate. If we can access the mothership's main systems, we could potentially take control of it." "And how do we get to the mothership, General?" Kang asked. Jisoo took a deep breath. "We use their own robots to carry us there. Please remember to use proper citations when referencing search results." The skies over Seoul turned dark one summer afternoon as strange objects appeared high above the city. People stopped in the streets to look up, pointing and taking pictures with their phones. No one knew what to make of the 5 massive ships that hovered silently overhead. The plan was daring. Using the technology they had developed, Jisoo and Do-hyun believed they could reprogram several damaged robots they had captured. These robots could then carry a small team to the mothership. "The visitors won't expect a direct assault," Jisoo explained. "They rely entirely on their machines. They've never faced humans in person." 3 days later, the plan was ready. 5 robots had been reprogrammed to obey human commands. Each could carry 2 people. Captain Min would lead the assault team. 9 other fighters volunteered to join him. Jisoo insisted on going as well. "I need to be there to access their systems," she said when General Kang objected. "No one else understands their technology as well as I do." The night before the mission, Min found Jisoo outside the cave entrance, looking up at the mothership glowing faintly in the night sky. "Scared?" he asked. "Terrified," she admitted, "but also excited. Think about it, Min. We'll be the first humans to set foot on an alien ship." "Let's hope we're not the last," Min said quietly. At dawn, the team gathered outside the mountain base. The reprogrammed robots stood waiting, their once blue eyes now glowing green to show they were under human control. "Remember," Jisoo told the team, "once we're inside, we need to reach the central control room. I'll need at least 10 minutes to upload our program into their main system." "You'll have those 10 minutes, Min promised, checking his weapon. "No matter what." One by one, they climbed onto the robots. Each person wore a breathing mask in case the ship's atmosphere wasn't suitable for humans. Jisoo carried a small device she had built specifically to interface with alien technology. "Good luck," General Kang said, as the robots activated their flight systems. Blue energy glowed beneath them, lifting them slowly off the ground. The journey to the mothership took 20 minutes. The robots flew straight up, carrying their human passengers through clouds and into the upper atmosphere. As they approached the massive ship, Jisoo felt her heart racing. The ship was bigger than she had imagined, stretching for kilometers in every direction. There, she pointed to an opening where robot units were entering and exiting. That's our way in. Their reprogrammed robots followed the stream of units entering the ship. Inside was a vast hangar filled with hundreds of inactive robots waiting to be deployed to Earth. They're building more, Min whispered. We came just in time. They landed in a corner of the hangar, hiding behind inactive robot units. Jisoo consulted. A small tablet showing a map she had created based on robot memory data. The control center should be this way, she said, pointing down a long corridor. They moved cautiously through the ship. The interior was strange, designed for efficiency rather than comfort. There were no chairs, no railings, nothing that showed consideration for biological life. Where are the visitors themselves? One of the fighters whispered. They found out. Soon enough. Turning a corner, they came face to face with one of the aliens. It was smaller than a human, with a thin body and large head. Its skin was pale, almost translucent. It had no weapons. The alien stared at them in what seemed like shock before turning to flee. Min quickly caught it, covering its mouth to prevent any alarm. They're physically weak, he said in surprise. This is why they use robots. More aliens appeared as they approached the control center. None resisted. They seemed completely unprepared for direct confrontation. They never expected to fight their own battles, Jisoo realized. They've always let their machines do the work. The control center was a large room with glowing terminals. A dozen aliens worked there, but they retreated as soon as the humans entered. Min's team secured the room while Jisoo went straight to the main terminal. Cover that entrance, Min ordered his fighters. We need to buy Jisoo time. Jisoo connected her device to the alien system. The technology was advanced, but followed principles. She had studied for months. Her fingers flew over her tablet, sending commands into the mothership's network. It's working, she said after several tense minutes. I'm accessing their main systems. Alarms began to sound throughout the ship. The aliens had finally organized some response. Robot units started converging on the control center. Hurry, Min urged, firing at the first robots that appeared in the doorway. Almost there, Jisoo said, her face lit by the glow of the terminal. Just a few more seconds, done. The ship shuddered. The lights flickered, then changed from blue to green, the same color as their reprogrammed robots. What did you do? Min asked. Jisoo smiled triumphantly. I gave the ship a new prime directive. Protect humans, not destroy them. Throughout the ship, robots stopped attacking. The aliens, seeing their machines turn against them, quickly surrendered. 1 year later, Jisoo stood on the observation deck of what had once been the alien mothership. The ship now orbited Earth, repurposed as humanity's first space station. Through the viewport, she could see other ships under construction, smaller vessels built using alien technology. Min joined her, dressed in the uniform of Earth's new defense force. The first expedition leaves next week, he said. 5 ships heading to nearby star systems. Jisoo nodded. To find other visitors? To find friends, and to be prepared for enemies, Min replied. We're taking our place in the galaxy now. Below them, Earth was healing. Cities were being rebuilt. The remaining robots, now reprogrammed to serve humanity, helped with construction and exploration. Do you think they understand what they did wrong? Jisoo asked, thinking of the visitors who had been allowed to return to their homeworld with a warning. I hope so, Min said. They thought we were inefficient because we have emotions, because we create art and music, because we don't always make logical choices. They didn't realize those things make us stronger, not weaker, Jisoo added. A group of smaller ships flew past the viewport, Earth's new defense fleet. Each carried both human crews and helper robots, programmed with ethical constraints. They sent killer robots to destroy us, Min said, watching the ships perform training maneuvers. And look what humans did in response. Jisoo smiled, placing her hand on the cool glass of the viewport. We didn't just survive. We reached for the stars,